Hello, everyone. It's your friendly neighborhood MYP coordinator. And today I'm going to talk to you about MYP and online learning. In other words, how to MYPify your MCPS created lessons. We're going to start by framing our learning. Our mastery objective is by the end of this session, teachers will understand how to use the distance learning collaborative planning tool to include the MYP framework in their online lessons. Our concept is systems. That's the key concept. Our approaches to learning, our organization, and transfer. Our agenda, we will demonstrate the following: use of the distance learning collaborative planning tool, use of the linked slideshows, use of the ATL mini lessons document. And our criteria for success: teachers are prepared to use the distance learning collaborative planning tool to adapt the MCPS provided lessons to reflect the MYP framework. That sounds like a lot, but I'm going to walk you through every step. So what tools do you need? You start with the MCPS continuity of learning lesson for your course. This comes from the Commons section of My MCPS Classroom. In this case, we're going to adapt a lesson from Investigations of Science, grade 6, and this is an adaptation of the lesson shared from Commons. So what else do you need? You need your distance learning weekly collaborative planning tool. This has all the MYP links you need in order to complete it. So this is our weekly planning tool. You've seen this, hopefully in your PLCs this week. These resources should be all that you need in order to plan for the MYP framework. So we will start with what comes directly from MCPS. You will get your subject and your lesson topic directly from MCPS. You will get your mastery objectives directly from MCPS. You may add to them, but chances are they have it covered. Most of your evidence of learning and the learning activities will also come straight from your MCPS lesson. So what will we determine in PLCs? We will determine our differentiation plan. How do we plan for the various students that we have that come through our doors, or in this case, that show up on our screen? We determine our office hours and our student support structure. And we will have additional formative assessments and learning activities related to differentiation and MYP. So now we're going to start adapting for MYP. And the first thing I need you to know or remember is that right now we're only adding ATLs, only ATLs. However, this presentation will address all of the MYP components, so you have it all in one place. So first things first, please make sure that you review the MCPS provided lesson before you attempt to add MYP components. So we're going to start with the ATLs. Think about which ATL is important to the teaching and learning in this lesson. Make sure that you fit the ATL to the lesson and not the other way around. In other words, what are you starting with and what ATL actually fits what you're starting with? To see the ATLs, click the link that says ATL skill. The ATL slideshow will open. This MCPS lesson is about magnetism. It includes videos, a virtual experiment with magnets, and some articles. In reviewing the activities, students need critical thinking in order to best understand the work. Once you've chosen an ATL, make a plan for how you're going to teach that skill. If you click the link that says activities, you'll be directed to a working document that gives you suggestions for short activities that build students' ATL skills. This is a living document that will have ongoing additions. If you find a cool activity that addresses an ATL, please add it as a comment and I'll integrate it into the document. The document itself includes the skills cluster, the specific skill, and the definition of the skill as created by IB, and then quick activities to reinforce the ATLs that you can use as part of your instruction. These activities are meant to be bell ringers or summarizers at the end of the lesson. So for my ATL, I found a short video on magnetism. I've asked students to watch the video. As a warm-up, they will respond to a journal question in Padlet. And this is my Padlet. So they have a short video, it's about a minute and a half, and they'll choose one part of the video and add a comment explaining what happened and why you think it happened. And just for reference, the video is what happens when you take a magnet to certain other materials. Once you've chosen an ATL activity, be sure to include it in the learning experiences and the formative assessment sections as appropriate. Now we're going to move on to our conceptual understanding. You're going to choose a key concept that frames the lessons provided by MCPS. Click the link labeled Key Concept to access the slideshow that gives you the list of key concepts. In the MCPS provided lesson, the key concept is relationships. The lesson shows the relationship between the magnets and the other types of material. Next, choose the related concept. If you click the related concept link, you'll be directed to the related concepts slideshow. One change to the related concept slideshow. Now all the related concepts are linked into the slideshow. For example, if you click arts, you'll be directed to the related concepts for arts. In this lesson, the related concepts are interaction and movement. The lesson teaches students how the magnets interact with other materials and how that interaction changes the movement. Next, combine your key concept and your related concepts to make a conceptual understanding. If you click the conceptual understanding link, there's a slideshow to guide you through creating a conceptual understanding. In this lesson, the conceptual understanding is movement is impacted by the relationship among materials when they interact. The lesson focuses on the magnet and how it impacts other materials. The conceptual understanding helps students understand that the other materials also impact their surroundings. Then you're going to plan for the conceptual learning. The next question is, how will you adapt the lesson to allow students to form their own conceptual learning? On the announcements page, we frame the lesson including key and related concepts and global context, which we'll talk about in a minute. At the end of the lesson, we ask students to submit a flip grid explaining how the key and related concepts relate to each other. Finally, we're going to provide context for the lesson. Choose a global context to help connect the lesson to the school and to around us. If you click the global context link, the slideshow for global context appears. There's a theme here, guys. There's an upgrade to this slideshow as well. The slideshow now has specific explorations linked to the global context. If you click one of the global contexts, the specific explorations for that global context will appear. These are the specific explorations for identities and relationships. For this lesson, we chose orientation in space and time, since the lesson talks about how magnets impact the things around them. Next, we choose our specific exploration. If you choose the link that says specific exploration, a document appears with the global context and the specific explorations. So you can choose the slideshow or the document to access the information, but it's all the same information. In this lesson, the specific exploration is exchange and interaction because it talks about the exchange of energy and how magnets interact with other materials. So now we have key and related concepts, a conceptual understanding, and global context with specific exploration. But we will not be writing a statement of inquiry because this is a lesson and not really a whole unit, even though it's a big lesson, but it's a lesson and not a unit. So we're not writing a statement of inquiry. Finally, how will you link the global context or the specific exploration to your instruction? In this instance, the MCPS lesson already uses the specific vocabulary over and over again for the students to make the connection. And that specific vocabulary is energy, exchange, magnetic, and interaction. Finally, what resources do you need in order to complete the lesson? In this case, everything we need is online, so we would need our online tools like YouTube and Padlet and ReadWrite. But if I wanted to do a physical demonstration in one of my Zoom meetings, I might need a magnet and a metal ball bearing. So the one thing that I want you to remember about this is that we are all works in progress. None of us really signed up to be digital teachers, and now we are. So if you're struggling with the MYP components, you need to reach out to me so we can work together. But this is a work in progress. You are supposed to be making progress. You're not supposed to be trying to strive for perfection. I hope that this slideshow was helpful to everyone. And if you have questions, you know where to find me. Everybody have a great day and stay safe.